Chapter 5 of The Adventures of Unc' Billy Possum. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by James K. White. The Adventures of Unc' Billy Possum by Thornton W. Burgess. Chapter 5. Bobby Coon is Waked Up. Dey's a-comin', dey's a-comin', dey's a-comin' mighty soon. But dey can't come soon enough for me. Dey's a-comin' at de turnin' ob de moon, while I waits in my ole holler tree. Unc' Billy Possum was singing to himself as he slowly trudged home from Farmer Brown's henhouse. He was feeling very good indeed, was Unc' Billy Possum. No one appreciates strictly fresh eggs more than Unc' Billy does, and he had found more than he could eat, waiting for him in Farmer Brown's henhouse. Now his stomach was full. His house had been cleaned and put to rights, ready for his family when they should arrive from old Virginny, and he had nothing to do but wait for them. So he trudged along and sang in a funny cracked voice. Presently he came to his big hollow tree and started to climb up to the door of his house. Halfway up he broke off short in the middle of his song and sat down on a convenient branch. He put one ear against the trunk of the tree and listened. Then he put the other ear against the tree and listened. There certainly was a funny noise, and it seemed to come from right inside his hollow tree. Unc' Billy turned and looked up at his doorway, scratching his head thoughtfully with one hand. "My goodness," said Unc' Billy, "it certainly sounds like there was somebody in my house." Then very softly Unc' Billy crept up to his doorway and peeped in. It was dark inside, so that Unc' Billy could see little else than that his nice, freshly made, comfortable bed was all mussed up. But if he couldn't see, he could hear. Oh, yes, indeed, Unc' Billy could hear perfectly well, and what he heard was a snore. There was someone in Unc' Billy's house, and more than that, they were fast asleep in Unc' Billy's bed. "My goodness! My goodness!" exclaimed Unc' Billy Possum, and his two sharp little eyes began to snap. Then he stuck his head in at the door and shouted, "Hi, y'all! What you doing in my house?" The only answer was another snore. Unc' Billy waited a minute. Then he put his head in once more. "You better come out of my house, Mr. Whoever you are, before I comes in and puts you out," shouted Unc' Billy. The only answer was another snore louder than before. Then Unc' Billy quite lost his temper. Someone who had no business there was in his house. He didn't know who it was, and he didn't care. They were going to come out, or he would know why not. Unc' Billy gritted his teeth, and in he went. My, my, my! Such a rumpus as there was right away in that hollow tree. Peter Rabbit happened to be coming along that way and heard it. Peter stopped and gazed at the hollow tree with eyes and mouth wide open. Such a snarling and growling! Then out of the doorway began to fly leaves and moss. They were part of Unc' Billy's bed. Then Peter saw a big ringed tail hanging out of the doorway. Peter recognized it right away. No one possessed a tail like that but Bobby Coon. In a minute Bobby followed his tail, hastily backing down the tree. Then Unc' Billy's sharp little old face appeared at the doorway. Unc' Billy looked down at Peter Rabbit and grinned. "I guess Mr. Coon done make a mistake when he went to bed in my house," said he. And Bobby Coon sheepishly admitted that he did. End of Chapter 5. Recording by James K. White, Chula Vista.